Omar Sharif is a beautiful song that Katrina sings, and she sings it to Tufik, and then she goes on to talk about how when she was a child, they would play Arab music and they would play Arab movies, Egyptian movies, and it's something that she doesn't talk about. She doesn't have an outlet to talk about these things that she feels very passionately about, and now this stranger has walked into her town, and it's the perfect outlet for her to communicate these things that she very rarely gets to talk about in this town in the middle of nowhere. And when you're able to talk about something that you feel something so inside of you that is stifled for so long, it feels like it pours out. And then how do we put that into this very banal looking cafeteria with
the best banal.
But like it has a certain look about it, and then when the lights go down and we're left with three people in the cafe, and the idea was, how do we make them all feel like they're a part of this? And it just became about simple gestures, simple movements that echo what she's doing, almost like she's orchestrating this.
The idea of transformation is so important, and what he's talking about is actually watching just that landscape within a sort of tragic cafeteria that where the people inside of it have this moment of personal transformation. We watch her have it, and it's one of the most moving things of the evening. We spent a lot of time just collectively figuring out sonically, lighting-wise, choreographically, costume, like what's the color like when it's lit and when it's not, and how does that work when it's just the light from the display case that's kind of lighting up the scene and specials on them, and then what's that light that's buried in the wall that's now washing down and becomes another transformative or helpful piece in the transformational language. It's all about these subtle shifts that are able to kind of illuminate something about the human spirit, and that sort of wanting it to be these people in their dreams that are sort of far bigger than the places in which they're inhabiting.
There's those swells of music that we were all working towards, so that moment where it swells and you almost get catharsis, and then it goes away. And that's the thing that I liked so much about the way that we ended up doing the cafeteria, because there's just that moment where it feels like all of this light and music is pouring out of her and transforming this space. And then as soon as you start to register this beautiful thing that's happening, it's gone.
It's all gone.
And it's like, and I mean, I grew up in a teeny tiny town and every day was the same. I think for people that just have like real lives, you think that's what it is. There's those moments of the glimpse through the veil, and then it just.
So much of the music is written that way, with that in mind, and even when we redid Welcome to Nowhere, to not have a button to go right into the dialogue, it doesn't give the audience an opportunity to react, and they just get a little bit, there's a little bit of tension that builds every time we do that, and then finally we can have a release at the end of something like Omar Sharif. But I think all of those are very, very smart things that we did, or David and Itamar and another David had happen, to get the audience to really feel what these characters are
To not go for the button in a musical, I'm sorry, as far as I'm concerned, it's David Cromer's, one of his biggest gifts is that he won't just go for the button.
It keeps it moving.
And you're like, no, but we could totally get a laugh there. And he's like, no, don't expect it.
And it keeps it moving in the same way that the turntable just sort of, there's this always, it's front-footed in the most back-footed way. It's a lazy river, you know? It's slow, it's moving, but it's constantly going. And that, it makes it feel, again, like you miss an opportunity to like reward yourself, and that, again, it builds that tension. It keeps people like, oh, gosh.
But yeah, by like holding that, you get the greater reward in the end, ultimately.